Hey guys, what's up? It's Kevin for the win. We're back for another edition of Monster Hunter Rise. Today on the channel, we're taking a look at the Immortal build for basically the Great Sword. Basically what this is an armor where you cannot die. So we're going to be using Divine Eerie Mask, as you see here. The skills: Furious, Critical Eye, Razor Sharp, Spear Shot, Malzeno Mail, Blood Right, Weakness Exploit, Part Breaker, Recovery Up, Poison Attack, Kushula Grip X, Kushula Blessing, Agitator, Poison Attack. Next up, we'll use the Malzeno Coil, Blood Right, Part Breaker, Attack Boost, Recovery Speed Level 2, Kushula Crust X, Kushula Blessing, Handcraft, Normal Wrap It Up, Recovery Up, Absolute Petulance. You can use whatever petulance you want, as well as a Fatal Talisman. We want a Divine Blessing with at least one slot. For the gems, Hard Defense Jewel, plus 4, Defense Jewel 1, Defense Jewel 1, Steadfast, free jewels here. In the Malzeno Mail, you want Medicine Jewel 2 and a Venom Jewel 1. Kushula Grip, Venom Jewel 1, Malzeno, Recovery Jewel 1, Recovery Jewel 1, Medicine Jewel 4, plus 4, Recovery Jewel 1, and a Projection Jewel 2. Well, let's show you exactly why we're making this so tanky. Literally, Immortal means you cannot die because you have a tremendous amount of defense, 338 attack, 90 poison, 813 defense with really good resistances. This is what we're going to use for our skills. Defensive boost level 7, Divine Blessing level 3, Recovery Up level 3, Recovery Speed level 3, Stun Resistance level 3, Kushula Blessing, Poison Attack level 2, Razor Sharp level 2, Spare Shot 2, Bubble Dance, Part Breaker, Attack Boost, Critical Eye, Weakness Exploit. As you can see, there are a lot of skills on here. Handcraft, Normal Wrap It Up, Furious level 1. All these skills basically make it so that you're super tanky, you regen your health really quickly, so you cannot actually die from the harder hitting monsters. So as you can see, defense boost increase the defense as well as our elemental resistances. When you have at level 70, plus 10%, plus 35 bonus, plus the elemental resistances. Divine Blessing basically means that you take less damage. Recovery Up, increased amount of recovery when stored. Recovery Speed, basically speed healing of recovery damage, which helps and works in conjunction with Blood Right. Stun Resistant Kushula Blessing, basically gain the power of Kushula, which means basically we recover even more faster, red portion of the health gauge. So everything on here is just life regen, and basically just getting back your life, and also not being able to take massive hits here. As you can see, Agitator, Blood Right is going to come in very important with Part Breaker for this particular build. That's why we're using the Great Sword, as well as the Great Sword that we're using, which we must use the Camellios maxed out. Gives us enough gem slots so that we can gem in all the skills that, yeah, see here, Part Breaker, as you see there. We have one little attack boost. Not that's going to do too much here for the Critical Eye or the Weak Exploit, but they're nice to have. Nice little quality of life improvements. Even the Handcraft has actually some uses here. The only thing that really doesn't have a use is the normal Wrap It Up, as you see here. Furious is going to be very important. We're always going to stay on the red scroll. That way we have the defense plus 10 and all 5 resistances. Alright, so for the purpose of this demonstration, we're going to just face off against my favorite punching bag, the Great Azuchi. However, with this particular armor build, if you follow my advice, if you follow the gem guide, everything of the sort, you should be able to handle just about any monster that's thrown at you. The only problem with the Immortal Armor build is because obviously you're sacrificing all your attacking power and instead designating it to recovery of your health and your defense boost and everything of the sort. Your clear times are not going to be super fast for some of the higher end monsters. On the plus side, however, because you're so tanky and it's almost impossible for the most part, depending on whatever you eat for, to actually be able to cart from this armor build, you will be able to handle most of the very high-end monsters. The only problem is, in order to make this armor, you have to face off against most of the Elder Dragons. You also have to be able to farm the Furious Rajang, but basically anything that's anomaly level 4, the level 100 monster, which is Squirn Magnamalu. It's already been a month, so at this point it's not really a spoiler in regards to Monster Hunter Rise's endgame monster. Those monsters you will be able to pretty much tank. This armor looks pretty good with against anomaly monsters level 4, so some of the harder level monsters that hit incredibly hard, you take and tank a lot of hits. Another perfect demonstration of this is when I was fighting Kushula with this particular armor, and it actually hits me with a supernova. Even if I don't defend with my weapon and actually get the block of the hit, it only could do about half damage on me. Alright, let's counter that attack there. Now, with the Hunter Arts, I know a lot of people are going to come in the comments and be like, well, why are you using Surging Class instead of true, charge, slash, and everything of the sort. Honestly, you just could use whatever's your personal preference with the greatsword. I feel in this type of playtesting with this, I actually get faster clear times than the old-fashioned way because I'm not relying so much heavily on the counters as I am just trying to get a whole bunch of combos up. Obviously, you can play around with it to your own thing. As always, this is a recommendation, a guide, a build as it's custom. The original creator of this is Rage Gaming Videos, who originally came up with this. I actually have another version of this build that I've actually been working on with the hunting horn. This is just one variation of it. The only reason I haven't released that video as of yet is due to the fact that I'm trying to finish maxing out my Scorn Magnamalo horn. Keep in mind that with my Scorn Magnamalo horn, I don't have it finished yet because, believe it or not, while you're watching this video, I'm actually on vacation for the month from YouTube. All this content that you're seeing has been pre-recorded over the course of 1 week at the beginning week of August, so I won't be back officially into making brand new content until sometime in the beginning of September, so enjoying all the pre-recorded content that has been dropping this month. So basically with the greatsword, like always, you're going to want to target the critical spots, which are basically yellow. You're going to time your perfect combos here. This Azuros is going to get very annoying for us, so we're going to play the minigame here. I'm going to bounce into the Azuros. As you saw earlier on when we were actually fighting the monster, we basically weren't taking any damage whatsoever. Even against the heavy hitting thing, it's almost impossible to cart here. Again, you got to play around with the food skills. There's a lot of different variations that you could use. That's something that you're going to have to experiment on your own. Depending on the monster, certain ones are better than others. Obviously, weaker monsters, you're probably going to want to eat for the defender and the medic skill, as well as maybe Moxie. For some of the heavier, hard-hitting monsters, you probably want to use Moxie, Weakener, Adrenaline, Defender High if possible, or a Medic. It depends on really your playstyle. One of the good things is, as you're fighting anomaly monsters particularly, even though they hit you pretty hard, they can only do about half damage, and because you're using Blood Ray in conjunction with just the Blight status effect that you get from the anomaly monsters, as long as you keep staying aggressive, most of the time the monster will not actually be able to cart you, because any damage that's dealt to you, you're able to dish back out and get back your health thanks to Blood Ray. So it's very important to keep that in mind. This is one of the few armors where, ironically, even though you're not doing a tremendous amount of damage, it's okay to actually be aggressive. And because of the fact that we're using the greatsword in particular, we're kind of mitigating some of the lack of damage that can. Now, keep in mind, you could use other weapons with this build, but the problem is you would need to have one that has at least a level 3 gem slot in it, as well as 2 level 1 slots, so that you would be able to gem everything that you need for this particular build. If not, you're going to run into some great difficulties, or you would have to take out the Steadfast, and as I would recommend for a lot of people, you can't actually get rid of the Steadfast in this particular build, because it's very important for the higher end monsters, like let's say a Teostra, or Scorn Magnamalo, or some of the Elder Dragons that like to get you hit into a combo, because what happens is you end up getting stunned into a death. So that's one of the few times where you can't actually really deviate too far away from the build. The only way you could do is if you replace the weapon with something that's exactly the same in terms of gem slots and every sort. And that's kind of a very tall order, at least for now, in Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak. Alright, so we took down the Great Azuchi. As you can see there, this is going to be a pretty fast clear time, probably anywhere between 5 to 4 minutes. Obviously, as you go higher up, it's going to take a little longer to take out some of the higher end monsters. You're looking at anywhere, depending on how you're doing your damage rotations, of anywhere between upwards of 15 to even 17-minute clear times. Like I said, you're sacrificing all your attacking stat values and a lot of your damage that you would output in favor of just being super tanky and being almost impossible to cart. Now, keep in mind, if you still play really reckless with this particular armor, there is a possibility you can cart. A monster will still be able to catch you off guard, depending on the level and variety of them, particularly anomaly monsters. So keep in mind that even though it's called an Immortal build, it is still possible to cart, but it's a very, 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 very low potential. Most of the time that somebody gets carted with this particular build, it's because you made a careless error or something really unforeseen that was not preventable ended up happening to you. But that's where also the true strong arm stance comes into play, because you can counter a lot of stuff that you would normally not be able to counter because you don't have enough time to react or roll. So let's collect our rewards, and we will take a look at the clear time. I'm thinking it's somewhere between 4:50 to 5 minutes. Okay, 5 minutes and 15 seconds. As always, a like on this video is greatly appreciated. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, definitely consider doing so, as it helps the channel grow. And I will see you for the next Monster Hunter Rise video. Till next time, guys.